Welcome to a new Draw My Life video.
Leonardo di Piero da Vinci, better known as Leonardo da Vinci, was a polymath during the Italian Renaissance. He was born on April 15, 1452 in the Florentine town of Da Vinci, Italy. Throughout his life, he studied an endless number of artistic and scientific disciplines, standing out especially as a painter, architect, engineer, and inventor. He was the son of a peasant called Caterina and Ser Piero, a rich notary from Florence. He soon showed a great curiosity and talent, so his father let him join the artist Verrocchio as his apprentice when he was 17 years old. With him, he learned painting and sculpture, and he worked in the construction of the Santa Maria dei Fiori church along with Brunelleschi. The Renaissance brought along with it progress in commerce and art, and it encouraged cultural exchange. Already as an apprentice, Da Vinci introduced oil painting, a technique from the Netherlands that allowed for a greater control in the thickness of the paint, and that he used in Adoration of the Magi, his first work. After studying a wide range of techniques and surpassing his mentor, he decided to look for new challenges. In 1482, he left to Milan and introduced himself to his duke and sponsor Ludovico Sforza. Under his protection, he carried out projects about hydraulics, mechanics, and architecture, as well as some paintings. Back then, a new Black Plague invaded Europe. Convinced that dirt and overcrowding only made things worse, he drew plans for river channeling, proving a deep knowledge in architecture and engineering. In 1483, he was hired to paint for the Church of San Francesco, the famous Virgin of the Rocks. In it, he incorporated a new and innovative technique, the sfumato. It consisted in multiplying the layers of paint to create blurrier lines and a greater depth. Later on, he would use this technique again in one of the most famous paintings in history, La Gioconda, popularly known as the Mona Lisa. Thanks to the sfumato, he was able to create an optical effect where the smile of the protagonist seems like it's fading when we stare at it. This distinctive feature has fascinated generations for centuries, creating a halo of mystery around it. But not only painting took up his time. In 1494, he participated in the illustration of La Divina Proporzione by the mathematician Luca Pacioli. His meticulous drawings turned him into the creator of modern scientific illustration. In fact, some of them are still studied nowadays, like the famous The Vitruvian Man. In 1498, Leonardo finished another great piece of his, the mural Last Supper, a Bible scene where Jesus is sitting at a table with the 12 apostles before he's betrayed by Judas. It soon became an iconic painting, leading to many artists from all around the continent go and contemplate it. It was painted directly on the wall, and for this scene, Da Vinci left classic composition aside and tried to make characters more human. Something that turned out to be really revolutionary in the religious context of the times. Around the year 1500, the French troops conquered the Duchy of Milan, and Leonardo decided to move to Venice. His passion for science was greater and greater. He attended dissections of bodies to later on elaborate illustrations where he described the structure and functioning of the human body as nobody had yet. Some years later, the governor of Milan offered him the position of architect and painter of the court. There, he came up with a castle for him, and he carried out sketches for the chapel of Santa Maria alla Fontana. However, they were nothing more than projects, as many of his works. A new period of political instability made him leave the town. This time, he went to Rome, and he went through a calm phase of his life at the Vatican, following the guidelines of Pope Leo X. He drew maps and came up with a great residence for the Medicis, but he was getting less and less work and orders. When his protector died, deeply disappointed, he left Italy to spend the last years of his life at the Cloug's Palace in France. The French king respected him very much, and he lived more as a member of the aristocracy than as an employee. His health got worse and worse until he died on May 2, 1519, when he was 67 years old. He left all his belongings to his pupil apprentice Francesco Melzi, who took back to Italy copies of manuscripts and drawings of an incalculable value. Without a doubt, Leonardo da Vinci was a genius ahead of his time, whose influence is still present 500 years after his death.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!